Today, I'm going to be talking about episode 16 of season 16 of Deadliest Catch. And tonight, the three boats that are in this episode are the Saga, the Summer Bay, and the Cornelia Marie. And this episode starts out with Jake talking on the Saga, and once you sign the papers to be a crew member on the boat, you're part of the boat, and that's when the real stuff starts. It shows kind of what's going to happen on the show with the Cornelia Marie and the Summer Bay. Then it goes to the Saga, and it shows them starting to haul in their gear, and they pull up their first pot. It's more than halfway full, which is probably 500 plus Opelio crab per pot, and each one of those pots is worth 6 to 7 grand, which is crazy. So Jake is hoping to top off all 3 crab tanks on the Saga. Ever since he's been an owner, he's never been able to top all 3 tanks off with Opelio crab, and he's really hoping that he can do it in this episode. Then it goes to the Cornelia Marie, and the Cornelia Marie is hauling in their gear, and their first pot comes up, and it has 92 Opelio crab in it, which is not really good. Then their next pot is very little crab in it, so they start stacking their gear, and Casey sees this one spot where there's a giant divot in the crab grounds, and he's like, I have a hunch that the crab are all hunkered in there, and so they start stacking their gear and get ready to go set their gear in that ditch. Then it goes to the Summer Bay. They're about to leave harbor because they dropped off one of their deckhands who split his Achilles, something like that. They got a new greenhorn, Todd, and they start steaming out to the grounds, and while they're steaming out to the grounds, they're getting a whole bunch of freezing spray traveling out to their grounds. There's like 100,000 pounds of frozen spray that turned into ice. The crew goes out and they start busting up the ice, and while they're busting it up, Nick is hitting some on the wheelhouse, and an ice chunk comes and hits him in the face, and the ice chunk, his nose bleeding, and he goes in and wipes the blood off, and he realizes it's split, so he potentially will need a couple stitches there. Then it goes to the Saga, and while the Saga is hauling in their gear, their deckhand notices that their third tank has a slack tank, and what a slack tank means is where the water is halfway up in the tank, and what will happen is while the boat's rolling, the water will slosh and the boat will lose stability, and it could potentially roll the Saga over. So the deck boss runs down to the engine room, and he gets the secondary pump going to keep the crab alive and help with stability. So Jake is concerned that he'll lose the crab with the secondary pump, and they have 40 hours until they're offload, so he doesn't want to have to go into town not full. So he and the crew go down, and they find out that the main pump, it had a short, because normally on a boat, you don't want to have a tire cap, those plastic ones. You normally have a metal one to ground it and keep it from pulling apart, because the other one, with the motion of the boat, over time it'll pull it out of the plastic cap, and they put on a metal one to keep it locked in place so it won't come out and short the pump. And they get the pump working, and they turn off the second pump and turn on the main one, and they get back to fishing. Then it goes to the Cornelia Marie, and the Cornelia Marie is, while they're hauling in a pot, picking hook comes off the pot, and it smacks Taylor in the head, and it's not good. He gets injured pretty good, and he has a concussion, and he's puking, and he's seeing stars, so they bring him in, and he's resting up, and the crew is hauling in their gear, go set it in the ditch. While he's in his bunk, he smells smoke, so he goes down to the engine room. Normally, if you put the boat in neutral, the shaft to the props would stop moving if you put it in neutral, but it kept spinning, And it was creating smoke, so he calls Casey, and Casey comes down and they start working on it, and they find out $14 part sealer busted on it, so that's what caused the smoke, and Tyler caught it just in time, and they wrap a come-along chain around it and keep the shaft from spinning because they need to fix it. And while that happens, Josh is up in the wheelhouse and he sees another boat and he starts talking with them, and the other boat is saying, "We're setting our string rate here." So Josh was like, "We're drifting," and the other captain's like, "You're kind of in the way of our string." So Josh starts pushing the throttle forward on the port side engine, and it starts spinning the propeller shaft, and the chains are kind of locking it up, but is spinning a little bit. So Casey runs up to the phone and tells Josh to keep the throttle at neutral so the chain won't break and pieces of the chain won't go flying and damage the engine room or seriously injure a crew member. So they get that fixed, and then they get back to fishing. Then it goes to the Saga, and the Saga is hauling in their gear, and they're still on really hot fishing and getting close to topping their tanks. Then it goes to the Summer Bay, and the Summer Bay gets to their fishing grounds where they set their pots like a week ago, and they start hauling in their gear, and it starts out with them getting like 190, and then it goes up to 245, then it goes up to 290 Opelio crapper pot. And while they're hauling in their gear, the picking hook, it hits Todd the greenhorn in the head, and the crew checks on him and it's all good, and he brushes it off and he gets back to fishing, and they're on really good numbers. Then it goes to the Cornelia Marie, and the Cornelia Marie is just starting to haul in their gear, and they're getting like 200 Opelio crapper pot, which is really good, and it just keeps getting better from there. Then it goes to the Summer Bay, and the Summer Bay is still doing really good. And then it shows the Saga in port, and they had all 3 tanks full of crab, and that's the first time Jake has had all 3 tanks filled with Opelio crab on the Saga. So that is how episode 16 of season 16 of Deadliest Catch ends, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please share this video with your friends and family. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you guys for watching, and if you ain't dreaming, you ain't living. Don't forget to dream big.